Hey, what's up, everybody? VC here, coming back at you with another video about anything and everything. Nothing's off the table. I'm just off the cuff. That's right. Because, you just never know what I may say or what I may be speaking about, except for what I say in my title. But sometimes you might not see what's in the title, and you have to look inside to see what I'm talking about. And so, with that, let's just get to it, alright? And I keep seeing some crazy stuff out here, alright? And so some of the notable things I noticed, yeah, oh yeah, we back from the Super Bowl, right? So Super Bowl yesterday. If you don't know or haven't seen it, um, you know, Eagles won, right? And if you watch my video, I bet it for the Eagles to win because I was tired of the Chiefs. That's what I kept on reiterating. And Eagles won. All right, they beat Kansas City. They dominated the Super Bowl game here. Like it wasn't even close. Maybe the score was closer at the end, but overall, though, just the match play, Eagles just outplayed the Chiefs, and Chiefs just I don't know, they just couldn't get it going. I think they were trying, and right when they were trying to get the momentum going, they fizzled, and things happen like through an interception or pick six or just loss of just a lot of penalties. They actually had a lot of penalties too, which was interesting because you would think that all the so-called controversy of Kansas City getting favored penalties and stuff. There was one questionable one in the very first quarter. It was like a pass interference call, and they called it against the Eagles, and that was very questionable because it was definitely a play like a flop type of call where it looked like the receiver reacted, and yeah, it was a pass interference call, and it ruled in favor of the Chiefs, but very questionable. But after that point, it was just like nothing. It didn't lead to anything. All it led to was just Eagles just dominated the game. All right, so with that, looking into some things going on here, I had a different plan today, but then I started seeing all these things. I'm like, wow, okay, maybe I might just talk about this instead. Such as here, a lot of people were saying that Taylor Swift was booed and Donald Trump was cheered at the Super Bowl. I couldn't tell, but did you know that Trump is the first sitting president to go to the Super Bowl? Didn't know that either. He didn't know that either. So very interesting. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. I didn't really hear it, but I wasn't like
Guys,
looking to
I'm about to
look for
cash
it.
a check for $180,000.
I wasn't looking to hear to see if there's a boo coming or cheers coming or whatever. I saw it, but I didn't really pay attention to it.
Losing it. We're going to get to some
So let's see here.
Super Bowl hijinks shortly, including Taylor.
I know that when they called out the teams to run onto the field, the Eagles were cheered and the Chiefs were booed. Right? I know that part. I saw that in the very beginning.
Swift being booed aggressively while President Donald Trump was cheered loudly. Didn't that see the left meltdown? But let's start with Democrat Maxine Waters, who, along with other demented democracy-denying lefties, tried to break into the Department of Education.
Oh, yeah, this stuff. I already talked about this.
Accosted a federal employee standing in their way. Watch this utter lunacy.
Yeah.
Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him.
Show me your ID. I already showed it to you.
This is him. Look at it.
Let me see it again. No.
Tell us your name. Give me that ID again.
I showed it to you.
So what?
I showed you the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the
Could
ID.
you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID?
Hey, get
Will
the
you
fuck
ask
out of
him
here,
for it?
man.
He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it.
Look at all these old bags.
Oh my
Go
God.
away.
Someone give that man a big fat
Fuck
pay
outta
rise.
here.
He deserves it. He's had a
All these
gutful of
old
these
bags, man.
juvenile
Fuck
antics
out,
from
man.
Democrat geriatrics.
Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yeah.
Shit,
All right,
they
well, you
couldn't
just
stay.
stay right here.
They couldn't even stand there all night. So I don't know why she's talking, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Go sit at a diner. Go drink your coffee or your tea and kick back. Like stop this bullshit.
There, there. And you just stay and stay.
Why aren't you letting us go to that desk like we were able to do last year?
Well, that was last year, buddy.
U.S. employee.
This is a public institution. Did Elon Musk hire you? Who do you work for? Who do you work for? Are you not aware to be here?
Did Elon Musk hire you? Now let's check in on Hollywood has-been Richard Gere. You know, the dude whose career highlight was playing a businessman who falls for a hooker he picked up off the streets. He was in Spain for something called the Goya Awards, and he felt the need to share some dangerously delusional thoughts about President Trump and his supporters.
What's with
Are
with
you
all
in
these
shock, Richard?
And
It's all
I'm in
these
shock. My wife is in shock.
Hollywood
We're all in
actors and
shock.
actresses, man?
People
What's wrong with
spoke
these people?
And they elected this president, and that's a fact. But I don't even think the people who elected him really believed that he was going to do what he said he was going to do.
Just how thick, how dangerously out of touch does one need to be to not
Shit,
understand
all these Hollywood
that Trump
elites
supporters
are out of touch.
ecstatic, over the moon about his first 3 weeks.
Maybe
They pray
maybe his house didn't burn down in the Hollywood Hills there. That whole Palisades fire and all that. So he's just talking right now, yapping.
he would follow through and deliver on all those election promises, and he has. Now, you may not like it if you're on the left, but deluding yourself into thinking that Trump supporters are upset, well, that's idiotic. But old Dick Gere wasn't done yet. Listen to this tiresome rant.
This is dark time in the U.S., and I think it's a time for everyone to stand up. I was reading an article by someone,
He'll be standing alone.
Hungarian, who watched things change so radically under Orban, and he said, America better be vigilant, because we didn't know how fast this would happen in Hungary, and I can see this happening very quickly now. We have this incredibly dark marriage of power and money like we've never seen before.
Not only hysterical, but completely wrong. The money was with the Democrats. It has been for a long time. The majority of billionaires were with the Democrats, including the likes of George Soros, Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, Michael Bloomberg, and many more. That's why Kamala Harris was able to outspend Trump by 3-1. Here are some facts for Richard Gere from journalist and best-selling author Batia Ungar-Sargon, who actually relies on facts, not just feelings and hyperbole. She wrote, Trump won folks making under $100,000, while the Democrats won those making over $100,000. Biden had 2 billionaires to every one Trump had. 2-1. 75% of hedge funders gave to Kamala. 9 out of the 10 richest counties and 65% that are making more than $500,000, well, they're represented by the Democrats. But Richard Gere isn't going to let a little...
It's interesting because it's funny how Democrats always deflect and accuse the Republicans of catering to the rich, catering to the one percenters, catering to tax cuts for the rich and all this other stuff. And it's like it's completely deflecting and the opposite, contradicting, because that's what Democrats are. They're all about themselves and the elites and the rich people and all that stuff. And it's just they blatantly lie to your face all the time, which is the sad thing. And people fall for that shit, So pretty interesting stuff here. I'm just going to keep it forward here. I don't know. Some people make a big deal about the Black National Anthem. I don't know if it's like a big deal or not to even have a Black National Anthem. I just think it's part of the whole virtue signaling, just to be, I don't know, just to let to give in to the masses that demand for it, right? The progressives, the demand for it, you know. So that's just what I think about it. Let me see what they got going
We
on
always
over
say
here.
never sell a house in the winter.
Try to keep pushing this
That's
thing
not true.
forward here.
With Open Door, you can skip the show.
And even players were keen to shake the president's hand. That was Chiefs star Chris Jones. Now, we heard the boos when Taylor Swift was on the big screen. Listen to what happened when President Donald Trump was put on the big screen at the stadium.
Oh, I skipped over to Taylor Swift one.
Now, there'll be plenty more lefties losing at content with my next guest, including the anthem furor today. This is the way the national anthem was presented at the Super Bowl. It's a long way from Whitney Houston, a long way from...
3 reasons why you need the perfect gene. They're comfortable.
I didn't even
enough
know
to
that
run
was
a
considered a
marathon.
black national anthem. I just thought they were just singing it, just using a particular
Comfort is not
artist.
weakness.
is priceless.
Oh, that's funny.
Today, Donald Trump became the first sitting president to attend the
Let
Super
me just
Bowl.
bump this
And
forward. I thought that was just his style of singing
a long
it.
way from Whitney Houston, a long way from Chris Stapleton. Remember that a couple of years ago? That's how you perform the anthem. But today, the NFL again insisted on having what is called the Black National Anthem. Let's see how that went.
Is it even necessary?
There is
I mean,
no place for separate racial anthems in my book. It's one nation, one flag, one anthem. Why is, I don't know, 14% of the population entitled to an additional anthem? Joining me now is comedian and host of Prime Time with Alex Stein on Blaze TV. Alex Stein. Alex, what do you make of this anthem argument?
Well, Rita, I think we actually need it now more than ever. Did you see that they don't have end racism in the end zone this year at the Super Bowl? So, I mean, we need to do whatever we can to fight racism. I know we have to fight it. It's our biggest problem, according to Jasmine Crockett, the congresswoman from Dallas, my neighborhood. So, you know, we need it. We need an anthem for every race. We need the Chinese anthem. We need every race, the Hispanic, Mexican anthem. Everybody's winners.
Let's move it forward.
Trump is a winner. So I'm not surprised that all the people that were long-time Trump holdouts.
And another thing they made a deal about is Secret Service had an ad in the Super Bowl. I must have missed it. I didn't recall seeing it.
Gotten on the Trump train. It's a beautiful thing to see here in our country.
Now, we'll get to some polling numbers shortly, and they're interesting indeed. But I've got one last thing to show you from the Super Bowl. Every year, the ads are a highlight. Millions and millions are spent to come up with the best ads every year. This year, the Secret Service put out a recruitment ad produced by Hollywood director Michael Bay. It's quite something. Have a look.
America was founded on an idea.
Yeah, I didn't recall seeing it. I don't know if when they played it, I missed it.
In time of need, throughout our short but powerful history.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Tear down this wall.
We've been there for all of it.
The second plane hit the tower.
Our heroes are humble. They have an inner pride to keep this idea alive. Protectors are born, they're not made. America's Secret Service protecting this Super Bowl is asking a few more to step forward.
It's all about patriotism. It's the sort of ad we didn't expect to see anymore on TV, certainly not a Super Bowl ad like that. Tell me about that. change in the institutions, whether it's the Secret Service, we're talking about reforming the FBI, CIA, Justice Department, getting these mad ideologues out of there and returning them to their former glory. Is all of that, which is really very much part of the Trump agenda, is it achievable?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do think it's achievable. And listen, the Secret Service, they have to do a total overhaul of their public relations because we've lost faith in them. When you saw Donald Trump get shot in his ear and you saw a few women, they didn't even know how to take out their gun from their holster. They have to do whatever they can to gain the American people's trust again. So, I like that commercial. You didn't see a lot of women in it. Not that I don't want women being in the Secret Service, but I'm just saying at least that commercial seemed like it was honest of the people that I'd want protecting the president. So, yes, I do think it's achievable, Rita. We got 4 years. And, now looking back, it was the greatest thing that Trump didn't win in 2020 because we got to see how terrible Joe Biden is and how much stuff we need to change. So it's all going to get fixed. And it's going to take some time. But in 4 years, I do think Donald Trump could do it.
Yeah, there's so much Biden damage. It's crazy. When you think about all in 4 years, how damaging Biden was to this country. I mean, everything across the board was so bad, and we're still trying to get past all that. So, Trump's trying to reverse course and everything and fix. And all he's been doing all along since day one, which has only been like 3 weeks, is just basically clean up the Biden mess. And that's it, and then move forward. But right now it's a mess after mess after mess with Biden and all these progressives that they left behind, It's like it was a big-ass party and they left a mess and they didn't clean up after themselves. They were just cleaning up this big, giant piece of shit mess.
I think you make an excellent point there. And I mean, no one would have said that back then who was in the Trump camp. But in many ways, that loss was a blessing because it really opened their eyes to just how deep the bureaucracy issues are, how much they were white-tainted and the corruption that exists in DC. And
yeah, you didn't really see the corruption, even though they were blatantly doing it in your face, right? The Democrats. And now that we're on the other side of Democrats, because Trump is running the White House, he's exposing all that corruption before our eyes to show everybody how bad and corrupt and woke and virtue signaling and all this crap that they were doing to everybody these last 4 years, that Democrats are just simply terrible.
They had 4 years to carefully formulate a plan to overcome all that. And you wonder if they won in 2020, whether it was going to be really any different from the first term, where
there would have been still continued pushback, with his cabinet in his first term, like with Trump, he had a bunch of supporting cast that wasn't completely on board with the Trump agenda, that what he was trying to do. And at that time, even Trump admitted that he didn't know what he was getting himself into when it came to this. He thought he found people that he could rely on to kind of move forward with things that he wanted to get done in the United States. And obviously he learned that he couldn't, all right? And that's why he has a whole new cast of people this time around. And the last 4 years, he kind of studied and figured out
every
excuse me, my throat's still itching there. Like I was saying, Trump had 4 years to figure out, okay, you know what I'm going to do this time around? I'm going to do this, this, and this. I know who I'm going to be part of this cabinet this time around. And that's why on day one, literally right after he got sworn in, he was already at work as if he never lost in the first place, which is pretty crazy.
Every step had just so many hurdles in front of it. Let's talk about these polling numbers, starting with President Trump's approval rating. Now at 53%, a 6% jump. This is CBS News polling. This is the highest approval rating for President Trump in CBS polling history. And
that's CBS, because CBS is left-leaning, progressively skewed. CBS, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, all these fools, they're skewed heavily to the left. And so even the polls show there that they still favor Trump, which is pretty funny.
Alex, when it comes to the big issues like the deportation policy, which people expected to be really contentious, well, the numbers are even more promising. When asked, do you approve or disapprove of the Trump administration's program to find and deport immigrants who are in the US illegally, the approval number there is 59%, up 18%, and the numbers are up for every age group. You're looking at from 18-year-olds all the way to 65 plus.
That's off the CBS News poll, so there you have it, right? So, you know, just kind of some of the things that was talked about with the Super Bowl and how things are going with Trump at the moment. Here's something that caught my attention here. Look at this. FEMA, which they said they didn't have any money to give to the flood victims, the hurricane flood
Elon
victims.
Musk has accused.
All right. All of a sudden, FEMA sent $59 million last week to luxury New York City hotels for illegal immigrants. How? You know what I'm saying?
The Federal Emergency Management Agency of diverting funds meant for American disaster relief.
And so we all know that Mayorkas, the former Homeland Security advisor or secretary, whatever you want to call him, gutted FEMA to give to illegals. I'm surprised there's still money in there when he even said we don't have any money to give to the hurricane victims and wanted to give them, you know, what, $700, you know, per family or something like that. And it's like, what's $700 going to do? You know what I'm saying? And now you come to find out this is just in. Look at that, 1 hour ago. They just said $59 million. What the fuck?
According to Musk, FEMA sent a staggering $59 million to luxury hotels in New York City.
And then you see why Trump wants to just squash FEMA, get rid of it.
House illegal migrants, a move he says violates the president's executive order and is a gross misuse of taxpayer money. Musk claimed that his Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, recently uncovered the funds and vowed that a clawback demand will be made to recoup the money. This controversy comes as the Trump administration intensifies efforts to overhaul FEMA. Last month, President Trump signed an executive order establishing a council to review the agency amid concerns over political bias. The new directive calls for the council's first meeting within 90 days and requires a report of its findings within 180 days. Trump has been long critical of FEMA, arguing that the agency bungles emergency relief efforts and should either be fundamentally reformed or even dismantled. He has previously denounced FEMA's performance, asserting that federal disaster aid should be given directly to states rather than managed by an inefficient agency. Funding for FEMA has soared in recent years following several high-profile weather disasters, and the agency now faces scrutiny over how it allocates emergency resources. The Trump administration's latest measures are part of a broader strategy to ensure that federal funds are used solely for American disaster relief and to strengthen national security.
For more stories just like these,
Illegals have claimed U.S. has been paying for their hotel costs for like 8 months or more so far. If this is a weekly cost, we were talking about billions wasted alone. Shut FEMA down. Yeah, shut that shit down, man. This is garbage. This was just last week, too. All right, $59 million. Man. This is crazy. Yeah, I don't even know how they even pulled that money out. That's ridiculous. You know, so, oh yeah, another announcement was Trump is going to increase tariffs, or actually place tariffs on imported steel and aluminum. All right, so that kind of caused the market to go a little crazy, you know. So interesting. Jenny Milkowski's underwear. Oh, she showed her underwear? This is 9 years ago. Never mind, it's old. Yeah, so very interesting stuff here. Former DNC official. Celebrities lied about no Harris campaign payments. I mean, that's just who they are. They all lie all the time, you know. So, you know, it's just what they are. They lie in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when it comes to these people, Democrats, elites, and all that, they don't care about you guys. They don't care about nobody except in themselves. You know, that's why they just lie, lie, lie. Taylor Swift booed as Democrat pastor calls for violence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime there's any sort of protesting or any sort of hostility, it's Democrats that kind of, encourage the violence, you know, when it comes to their protesting and all that, rather than they claim, oh, we're trying to do it quietly, but yet they don't convince their own people to keep it quiet, rather than they let it go out of control and then things get violent, such as smashing windows and destroying property and all this crap, you know. So, just saying, you know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, so anyhow, this is ridiculous though. Man, we'll get back on track. Maybe tomorrow I'll get to what I wanted to talk about, which is the gruesome Newsom, right? The new scum is who he is. But yeah, very interesting stuff though. I just thought that I wanted to bring up the Super Bowl highlights, and you know, the crowd did erupt because I played the footage just right now for you guys for Trump, and Taylor Swift got booed, and very interesting, you know, when it came to the theme of the Super Bowl, which was kind of like, in a sense, patriotism, even though it's black, African American ran, but it still shows red, white, and blue, you know, and even though I know the messaging can be kind of not what you may think, I can understand what they're trying to present in the Super Bowl. So it was interesting, you know, it was all right. I mean, to me, it wasn't the best Super Bowl performance in terms of the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar and all that. But, you know, it was just all right. You know, to me, it's just all right. Other than that, look at this. Net approval rating. You know, it's already showing. CNN showing how Trump is up on approval rating. Positive approval rating. So, yeah. Interesting stuff here, though. Everything that's being shown. But other than that, I just wanted to give you guys the latest on everything. About anything and everything. And we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I think a lot of these departments, man, you know, the more that, you know, whomever within the Trump or, you know, administration, doesn't matter if it's Doge, doesn't matter if it's Pam Bondi, doesn't matter who it is, right? You see more and more are just wasted spending, the corruption exposed by, you know, on the Democrats. And it's like, man, you know, let's keep digging down this rabbit hole and see what else we can find, you know. It's like, it's just crazy. So other than that, I just wanted to share all that with you guys. Let me know what you think. Oh, yeah. By the way, yeah, I didn't see much of the Budweiser commercial. I did see a couple of them, but I don't know. I didn't see the Bud Light ones, but Bud Light is done, all right, when it comes to just in general. You know, they really lost what they had when they went woke last year, or actually 2 years ago, right, in 2023. And, you know, when they decided to go the Dylan Mulvaney route, or the transgender, fake transgender, by the way. And where'd that get them, right? Lost some money, and that they'll never get back. I mean, Budweiser, Bud Light, which is under the Anheuser-Busch InBev brand, they're so damaged that, and the way beer trends have been going, yeah, it's just, they're going to be losing more and more money just in general because just beer's really not a thing, sadly. So other than that, or maybe people are just going to other companies, who knows? But yeah, it's just one of those things. I saw this, I was like, oh yeah, let me just make that a point for a second here. But yeah, but other than that, that's everything. Comment down below. I'm on Rumble, I'm on YouTube, and catch you again on the next one. Thanks. I'll see you